And you're going to leave on your honeymoon without talking to your daughter? Are you friggin' kidding me?
Hi, I'm Julia, president and founder of the What You Should Read podcast, and I'm a Kristy.
I'm Rachel, and I'm a Stacy.
I'm Kelly, and I'm a Marianne.
I'm Mia, and I'm a Marianne.
Yay. And welcome to the podcast, Mia. We are so excited to have you to help us recap the episode Kristys Big Day of the Netflix Babysitters Club series. So welcome, and tell us, what is your history with the Babysitters Club series?
All right, well, thanks for having me. So I read pretty much all the books when I was younger. My mom's a teacher, so she had summers off, and every summer, every Wednesday, she would take us to the library, and I would basically stock up on as many books as they would let me get. I think it was 8, and I'd get basically 8 Babysitters Club books, and I would read them the whole week. I'd basically sit in my parents' bedroom with the air conditioning on rather than play outside like normal kids. The other kids, I shouldn't say normal. And that's what I did all week. I just read, and for a long time it was Babysitters Club. So
maxing out your library allowance, I relate to that so much.
Definitely.
Did you have a favorite book?
The air conditioning was me.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have a favorite book? Or I used to reread the same ones over and over, and you can tell which ones I loved because like the binding would fall off for the ones I owned.
Yeah, I don't remember any favorites. They all run together now because I've read so many. Yeah,
and they are very similar.
It's a nice formula that they follow.
Yeah, it's nice and comfortable.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, we are going to talk about the episode, but first we're breaking protocol today. I, Kristy, have allowed a breach in the format for these bonus episodes just this once because Kelly has a recent acquisition that she's very excited to talk about. So Kelly, you have the floor. What?
I told you. So I will be tweeting out pictures of this, but it is a tin with the original covers for the, I think, first 6 books. Yeah, Kristy's Great Idea, Claudia and the Phantom Phone Callers, The Truth About Stacy, all the way up through this episode, Kristys Big Day. And they have like the 80s covers. It is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm not going to speak for everybody else, but I'm so happy. They're so cute. You don't even know, but you will, because I will tweet this out.
Oh my God, I'm getting teary-eyed. It's great.
I need that.
It's so cute.
Yeah. The first 6 books, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've been updated in any way. I mean, I'm sure they're new versions, but it's like the old covers. Are they listening to their Walkman or to their headphones? Because that's how you know if they've updated it for present times. I would guess Walkman, but I don't know for sure.
Report back. Yes. Okay, well, today we're talking about Kristys Big Day. I'm a Kristy, so I'm very excited. It's a Kristy episode. So let's go around and just say what we thought of the episode. So Kelly, since you brought the recent acquisition, I'll let you go first.
Oh, thank you. So I feel like when I talk about my favorite episodes, I always say Marianne Saves the Day and Claudia and the Phantom Caller, but I really love this one because it's just so sweet and so fun. And I think I do like the Kristy-centered episodes too, because it seems like those are the episodes where she actually, I don't want to say grows because that implies that she's somehow stunted before, but like everything about this is just so great.
Yeah, no, it's true. Kristy is growing up, right? That's what this episode is. It's showing her character growth. Yes. Rachel, your thoughts?
So I feel like I say this every week, but I love the acting from all of the, I think the casting was so good in this, and I just feel like everybody did a great job in this episode. It was very entertaining. You know, I laughed, I cried. Like, this episode had everything. I thought of you, Kelly, because it had a good amount of Karen Brewer. Who's your favorite character?
I love that creepy little kid. She's the best.
Yeah. And I just, you know, Kristy, you know, I just want to like give her a big hug because she's just so great.
Yeah. Mia, what about you?
Same. I loved it. I was entertained the whole time. You know, there was no even looking on my phone. I was right wrapped up in the story. Very sweet. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, same. This was one I hadn't watched in a while. I mean, since it came out. But the others, I feel like I've rewatched more. And this one, because it's later on, I forgot. It is probably in my top 3 as well. And I especially love the scene at the end with her mom.
Yes.
I just was crying. Yeah. So, yeah, but it's a great episode. So usually what we do is we go through the major plot line first, and then talk about the sort of side plots afterwards. So Kristy, her mom is getting married, so it's a big to-do. Everyone's all aflutter about it, and we open with a scene of Kristy kind of officiating a wedding, which is definitely something she's going to do when she gets older. Like, everyone who is friends with Kristy and gets married will ask her to officiate their wedding.
Right.
Oh, you know what I bet will happen though? You know how most of us do that thing where we get ordained online kind of as a joke?
I did that.
No, I would bet you anything Kristy does like actual classes. She does it right. If you get Kristy to officiate at your wedding, it'll be perfect. She won't do it for free, I bet, but she'll be worth every penny.
Do it by the book.
Yeah. Licenses in every state, she's covered.
Yep.
And then she's giving this kind of flowery speech about what marriage and a wedding means, but then we pan out, we find she's doing a fake wedding for Karen Brewer and her brother David Michael. So it's a child's wedding, which is something we've all participated in. Does anyone have any comments about this?
My older sister married me to someone, I'm sure, when I was a kid. Although you did it more so with our brother.
Yeah. No, we married Lenny off to Kelly, was her name.
Yeah.
Your friend Kelly, his friend Kelly.
Yeah, we married our brother to her many times because we were best friends with her sister.
Right. Michelle and I think we probably had several ceremonies.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should probably stress that the Kelly they married to their brother was not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different Kelly.
Kelly.
I was like, I don't remember this. I don't think it was there.
But this is a cute scene. I love that we learned Karen's middle name is Amaryllis.
Yeah.
It seems on point. Like, very, very peak Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also love that all David Michael wants is to break the glass.
I know. That's such a kid thing. So cute.
Yeah.
I also love that Karen in this scene kind of trolls him a little bit. She's like, oh, 3 first names, huh?
Yeah.
David
So, yeah, Mia, did you ever participate in an underage fake wedding, like at recess or anything when you were a kid?
We did. We had a neighborhood boy. Our neighborhood was all girls, and there was one boy my age. We totally had crushes on each other. But we would play this like game of tag, and we'd catch him. But then I was too shy to be the bride, so we just hold him down, and we would sing "Here Comes the Bride," and his sister would come and kiss him. Who was 4 years younger, so the whole thing was weird.
That poor kid.
But
I feel like he's the only boy in the neighborhood. Someone has to marry him.
right.
Yeah. We can't just let him not marry somebody.
He can't be single. There's too many girls. That's precious. Yeah, so Alicia Silverstone, the mom, interrupts the wedding and she's freaking out, right? She sees that Karen is wearing her veil, which is like a family heirloom.
Right, with the tiara.
Right. And Karen's basically like, chill out. The family jewels are insured. Like, we're rich, honey. It's fine. Yeah.
I also like the fact that she basically was like, I have just as much right to wear this as you do.
Maybe more. I mean,
probably more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's his daughter. There's some tension for sure. Karen and the Thomases kind of honing in on the lifestyle which she has become accustomed.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's like, welcome to being rich, biatch. So then we hear Watson pull up. There's like car honking, and he's bought a car for Charlie, who's the oldest. And so this is like the first major conflict of the episode. The mom, Liz Thomas, she's like, we didn't talk about getting him a fancy car. We talked about maybe getting like a Chevy or whatever.
Like a used Toyota or something.
Something more appropriate for a 16-year-old boy, but instead, I don't remember what kind of car Watson gets him.
It was, I think, a BMW, right?
That's
a
insane.
dark one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all that Kristy knows. Like, which I feel like I would buy her not necessarily knowing what kind of car, like make and model, but I feel like she knows colors.
Yeah, but she probably just didn't look at it that much. Like, I don't know, it's dark. I didn't look at it.
But I feel like the thing with Watson is this whole series so far, he's been trying to bribe them with like the good soup dumplings, and now he's just like, okay, I've got to win these people over. Here's a super nice car that you can't afford.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a really nice dress for you, my potentially lesbian stepdaughter.
Mm-hmm.
We just jumped ahead, sorry.
You jumped ahead to season 2, which we are writing.
Yeah. Breaking news, we're on the writing staff for season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Podcast exclusive.
Yeah, I feel like Watson is just kind of like, please love me, future stepchildren, right? Like, he's trying so hard to win their affection, and he's doing it the wrong way. He's trying to buy it, right? But at the same time, I mean, with the car I think was a step too far, but then later he takes Kristy dress shopping. I think it was fine for him to get her a new dress. The dress looked awful.
Yeah.
And she needed a new one, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing if he were to like, because it said Charlie had saved up for the car. So, you know, if he had been a little more reasonable, been like, what if I match what you saved up and you just buy a little bit nicer car?
Yeah.
You know, that would, I feel like, be a more appropriate approach to being like, I want to do something nice for my stepson. You know, he's worked hard to save up this money, and I'm going to like match what he's saved up. Because, you know, say he saved up like $3,000, you know, $6,000, we get him a nice used car. But like, obviously he paid, you know, 5 figures, well into 5 figures for that Beamer.
Yeah.
Probably around $40,000 a car like that. That's insane.
Yeah.
What car did everyone drive in high school? I'm curious.
Well, I, for a while, drove the 1982 Ford Aerostar minivan that our mom had growing up for when I first got my license. And then, Julia, my senior year of high school, you moved abroad to France, and I drove your Saturn. That was my car senior year. You had left your Saturn at mom and dad's house. I drove it.
I don't know if that was my Saturn. I had a 1982 Ford Mustang, which sounds fancier than it was.
Yeah.
It was a very basic stick shift car that Dad found.
I never did that.
Yeah. I think the Saturn might have been Mom's.
But I think you took it when
I drove it. Yeah.
Took it when you got back, maybe.
Mia, what about you?
None. I didn't have a car.
Mm-hmm.
I rode the bus.
Yeah.
I had a friend who would let me pay him $5 a day to ride with him.
What? Let you pay him?
$5 is crazy. What was this, like 1999?
Even that was rare.
2003?
Yeah, I know. 2003.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't have a car until I was a junior in college. We had my uncle's old Oldsmobile,
Mm-hmm.
Louie's car, so we called it the Louie Mobile. And
Yeah. So funny. What about you, Kelly?
I had a Chevy Cavalier. So
Classic.
that was cool, yeah. But then I was that person who got in a car accident like I think maybe 6 months or so after I got it.
Oh no.
Yeah, I was fine.
Good.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm not a very good driver.
I know. Sorry.
Oh God,
This is Kelly who Kelly comes to my house. She's like, "Can you park my car for me? Because I don't want to parallel park on your street."
Okay.
I've gotten to be a better driver. I'm maybe not the best parker.
Not either. I'm pretty sure I scratched your car once trying to move it out of your garage.
Oh God, my garage is an actual nightmare.
It is.
It's like a one-way, kind of like the equivalent of a one-way street, and there's like walls and poles everywhere. So it sounds like, how did you scratch a car in a garage? Oh, it's a nightmare down there.
Yeah, I felt so bad.
It's fine.
Yeah. So anyway, so everyone's freaking out about the wedding. Kristy goes to the Babysitters Club meeting and she's freaking out to her friends. But then everyone else is like, calm down, it'll be great. Let's talk about our summer camping excursion. We're all going to Camp Moosehead as a group. And this is where we realize Kristy is maybe a little behind the other girls in terms of her development because she doesn't know what feminine products are, and they have to kind of let her know. So I feel like there was a little embarrassment on Kristy's part there. She's usually in charge and in the know, and in this particular area, she's a little bit behind. I thought that was interesting.
There was something from the first episode too, right? Where Claudia's working on art or something, and it was, I think, something related to her period somehow. And Kristy just seemed so uncomfortable at the mention of it. And then again today in the episode where, she's like, oh, what are the boys bringing for masculine products? And they were like, they mean stuff for your period, Kristy.
Yeah.
And she just seemed so awkward and embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
I do feel like, this is sort of a segue, but it made me think of it when she said masculine products. It's like, you know what? Why are they called feminine products? Why don't they just say pads, tampons, diva cups, etc.? You know what I mean?
There has to be a code word.
Yeah, there's such a taboo around periods, and it's like, why? Half the population gets them. So,
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
Also, we all think that Dawn has a diva cup, right?
Oh.
The environment.
It never occurred to me until just now when you mentioned diva cups, and I'm like, oh, I bet Dawn has one.
Of course she does. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I thought it was interesting though. I would have thought that her mom would have been all about making sure Kristy was aware and informed. I was like, I don't know, but her mom is really busy and stuff and has all boys otherwise, but she and Kristy are really close. So I would have thought they would have talked about this by now.
Right. I mean, I do see a single mom of 4 kids would be really busy and really think of it until, it's time.
Actually, though, what you just said, Rachel, about why do we call it feminine products, I bet Liz Thomas doesn't call them feminine products. She probably says tampons. She probably uses correct terms. So that actually makes sense now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I bet you anything, Kristy's the kind of person that if you sit down with her and is like, okay, so you're getting older and here's what's going to be happening to your body, she probably would be like, I know it, I'll buy, and just get up and run.
Yeah.
So there's probably a very, very thorough book that Liz Thomas has bought her that she has lost under her bed.
Yeah.
Aw. Yeah, any other thoughts on that scene? So we kind of covered the dress shopping scene a little bit, but did anyone else have any thoughts? I know this is just Watson again being like, please accept me as your new stepdad. I want to like make a good impression. But the dress that she originally tries on is like a yellow. It does make her look like a banana. So I am glad that he offers to get her a new dress. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like too, most of the time when it's like, oh, I tried on this dress and it looked horrible, it usually doesn't, but it really did in that case. She actually did look like a banana.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And
yeah, I liked the new dress.
You could tell the salesperson, she was like, oh, this guy's got money. We've got some new Vera Wangs. We've got some Carolyn Herrera's. Yeah. I mean, she was like, yes, another sale.
Well, I was surprised because, I mean, a big event like that, she's the daughter of the bride. You would need fittings. You would need, like, why did her mom not go with her earlier on? Did they not try this on at some point? Did they not have this, what, was this a day before the wedding? Why was this conversation not had months ago? This should all not be a surprise at this point. You should know what the dress you're getting looks like. This should be like a final fitting. So
that's a good point.
Yeah, I agree.
There was talk in the episode of this elusive grandmother of the mother-in-law who was like controlling everything and loved yellow. So I almost wonder if like she chose everything and Kristy's mom was just like, whatever, I just want to get married and like I don't care. Like she strikes me as the kind of woman who would be like, oh, I don't care about the details, you know?
Yeah.
So possibly the grandmother was like, I picked out the dress, just send them your measurements.
Yeah. But you're right. Like whenever I've been bridesmaid shopping, a lot, I've been maid of honor many times. Rachel picked out beautiful dresses for us, actually, for her wedding. I'm looking at the picture right now, and I looked great. And it was a lovely royal blue and not an ugly yellow, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, usually you go and you pick it out and you have many fittings and like, it's an ordeal. So everything about this wedding seems a little last minute though. Right? Like they're moving the same day. Like the next scene, they're talking about moving out of their house. David Michael's all sad. She's talking to Marianne. Everyone's sad to be leaving. And I'm like, why have they not moved already? Or why are they not doing it later? Like, why do two big things at once? Didn't make any sense.
Right. I mean, Kristy's going away for the summer, so I can see why she'd need to be all packed up and moved in. But like you said, they could have done it like 3 weeks before even, and at least get settled a little bit.
Especially since the parents, weren't they going on their honeymoon? So they're not even going to be there.
Yeah. I know. Who's going to like make sure the house is cleaned up for the new, in the book, now that I'm thinking about it, in the book, it does happen all at once, right? Like people come and buy the house, so they do have to get out quickly. And then the venue opens up early. So they have to like do everything at once and it's a whole thing. Now that I'm thinking, they just don't address that in the show. So there's no reason for it in the show, but that might be the reason.
True. Yeah. Like the people who buy the house are like, we want a really quick closing. We want to move in and, right away. So
yeah. I feel like I could remember the names of the people that move in if I think really hard about it. It'll come to me, I bet, by the end of the episode. Okay. So yeah, so finally we get to the day of the wedding. Kristy's in her beautiful Vera Wang or whatever dress. It looks great. And her mom's mad, right? Because it's not the dress they picked out. So they have a fight. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they couldn't return the other dress because they'd already done some alterations, which makes sense. And then she's like, how much was it? And I'm pretty sure Kristy knew but didn't want to say. And then Karen Brewer, who clearly has never heard the snitches get stitches line, is like, it was $800.
Yeah.
But it is a super nice dress and she could wear it a bunch of times, I bet, before she outgrows it.
Right.
Kristy won't wear that again. She's a jeans and t-shirt. Oh.
Yeah.
But she it's fine for her to have a beautiful dress on her mom's wedding day, and those pictures are gonna last forever.
Yeah.
And she's, confident in it. And she's not
Yeah.
the type of girl to be confident about, sort of dressing up and being, quote, girly. And
yeah. She's glowing. I mean, she looks so happy in the dress. Yeah. Karen has the funniest expression in the scene where the wedding planner comes on and he's like, okay, girl, time to like get on your gown. And Karen just shakes her head like, not right now.
Time, dude, not the time.
It's great. I love that kid. Any other thoughts on that? Oh yeah, so Kristy's basically like, maybe I should just leave and not be a part of your life. Like she has an emotional outburst.
Yeah.
And Alicia Silverstone's facial expression in that fight is really totally on point. Like, whoa.
Solid acting. So then we get to the wedding. Karen walks down the aisle like a champ. Just
okay, wait.
I mean, best flower girl ever.
Yeah.
Well, that's my poll. Who's the better flower girl? Karen Brewer or Hercules Mulligan in Hamilton?
Oh, that's tough. I think Karen, but it's close.
It's a close one, yeah. I would agree. I think Karen takes the cake, but Hercules did a top-notch job.
So when I was in Rachel's wedding, I was Rachel's maid of honor, and I was supposed to walk down the aisle with the flower girl, who was our cousin's daughter, Nora, who I think was like 2 at the time, right? Really little, but old enough to walk, not old enough to follow instructions. And so the wedding's outside. Everyone can see us getting ready to walk down. And right as we're like given the cue, like, okay, it's your turn, Nora just takes off running across this like wide open field, right?
Like golf course, so it was so wide open, and she went the opposite direction.
So I have to chase after her, and like Rachel and our dad are like around the corner by the trees, like
the bushes. Yep.
So she runs past them, and they're just like laughing at us. I'm like, thanks for the help. And everyone is like turned around in their seats, just like thinking this is the funniest thing. And I finally like corral her, and I'm like, let's go. And then meanwhile, her sister, who's like 6 maybe at the time, Layla, she had been a flower girl in our brother's wedding the year before. So she knew what she was doing. And so she turns to her mom and she's like, if Nora can't do it, I can do it.
Yeah, I'll step in. She wanted to be the flower girl, and it was
it was the cutest thing. But I finally corralled the flower girl. We made it down the aisle. I was just like, phew. But yeah.
I mean, they should have gone with a professional. Team Nora's older sister. And is there a video of this? Could your mom text it to me? I would like to see this very much.
I don't know if anyone took video.
If someone doesn't have it on their phone, I will be very disappointed. I feel like someone should have like got their phone out and recorded that, because it was
I feel like if anyone would have, it would have been Aunt Sarah or yeah.
We'll ask around. But yeah, so the wedding happens. I didn't love the wedding dress, Alicia Silverstone's dress. Yeah, I
loved it.
Me too. It did go with Kristy's yellow dress. Like it had the same silhouette.
Oh, true.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, I bet the mother-in-law picked that out too.
Probably.
Sorry.
I loved the lace. I like an all lace dress. And I loved the back, the plunging back. I love the dress for those things.
I just felt like the sleeves, like it's a summer wedding. It just didn't make sense to me. I thought it could have been a little bit more easygoing. It seemed a little stuffy to me. That's all.
Yeah. I do think that when a woman over the age of 35 gets married on TV, they always put them in long sleeves. And I feel like that's it. Like, really? Come on.
I know.
Silverstone, people.
Yeah, she looks great. So yeah, also the minister is Morbid of Destiny.
Okay, like seriously, I hate that nobody thought to tell Karen, hey, by the way, the neighbor that you're terrified of is going to be marrying your dad and stepmom. You might want to not lose your shit.
I agree. I feel like that was a failure on Watson's part because obviously he knew who was going to officiate his own wedding, and he knew that his daughter had issue. Well, one would hope. And one would also hope he knew about Karen's issue. In the books, he knows about her issue with morbid destiny. So I think he would be like, now Karen. No shenanigans.
I know.
That's how he is in the book. He's like, Karen, it's not fair of you to act like that about the neighbor.
Yeah, Mrs. Whatever. Karen screams when she sees this woman because she thinks she's a witch, right? And then Morbid Destiny gives this speech about how this little girl thinks I'm a witch. It's true. I'm a spiritual guide. And historically, the word witch has been used to describe women who don't conform to society's rules, right? And I was just like, yep. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I bet in the next season, they're best friends.
Oh, yeah. Karen becomes a witch.
Yeah, goes and has tea with Morbid Destiny and has, learns witchcraft. I love it.
So then we're at the ceremony. Kristy keeps trying to talk to her mom because now I think she like during the ceremony realizes like, oh, this is like a beautiful thing. I'm glad my mom is happy. Kind of gets over her little tantrum. And then she gets her period.
Yeah. Which I feel like both explains her like really oversensitivity to moving and everything. And then like also the whole like, why can't I have this one stupid thing? Maybe you don't want me in your life at all. And it's like, that's a little much.
Yeah.
That's a leap. Yeah. But then finally she finds her mom and they finally talk, and I just love the scene at the end where Alicia Silverstone says, don't tell anyone, but you're my favorite child. I love you so much. Like it's you and me, kid. You know, it's like, oh, it's just so great.
It's a beautiful, beautiful scene. Like Kristy and her mom just having that conversation. Like I cry every time. I've seen it 3 or 4 times. I cry every time. It's so sweet.
Oh God, but when she tells her mom, like, I got my period, like basically just now. And then she's like, you know, freaking out. And then like her friends were like, we took care of her. And she's like, you always do. And I'm like, oh God.
That could have been like a little too syrupy sweet of a scene, but I think it's done well, right? Yeah. It's just like it feels right.
It's right, yeah.
Stephen King wrote the story that became the movie Stand By Me. And there's a line in it that's something like, I never had friends again the way I did when I was 12 years old. And he's like, God, does anybody? And I was like,
What were you going to say, Mia?
No, just like that scene was really sweet, but I was getting really frustrated leading up to that scene.
Yeah.
You know, the whole like, okay, I'm not good with conflict, period.
Yeah. Same.
And as soon as I get in a fight with like my husband, I just immediately, I have to get it resolved. If we got in a fight like that on our wedding day, obviously I'm not going to walk down the aisle, I mean, husband aside, with anybody and have it ruin, it would ruin my entire day. Now, if it were my daughter, and she goes, hours without speaking with her daughter, and I'm like thinking the whole time, what the F is wrong with you? Find her, talk it out. This is really, and then she's in the limo, she's driving off, we're paying by the hour. He just spent how much money on what? And you're going to leave on your honeymoon without talking to your daughter? Are you friggin' kidding me? You're just gonna leave? You're not gonna wait? The whole thing, I was very, very frustrated. And I felt like they redeemed it. So I'm going to forgive them. But at any time, like pictures pull her aside, cake, I mean, after the cake.
There's plenty of opportunities, right? Like, there's always like the entrance of the wedding party, right? They would have been waiting together
right
to go out. Yeah, you're right. That's a really good point because you have to suspend your disbelief that they couldn't find a minute. But I think in my head, I was like, oh, well, she's just enjoying being with her new husband. Like, she'll talk to Kristy later. But yeah, it would have like bothered me if I was the mom that I had just fought with my daughter and then had to get married.
Yeah. Definitely the getting in the limo thing was like really
yeah.
like.
Right. And then the limo's driving off. Did she really just drive off without saying goodbye to her kid for a week?
Yeah.
What? But
I know.
Stopped the car, so
yeah.
She did. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't really like true to character, I guess. She wouldn't have. I would hope that the real character would not have done that, but yeah, very frustrating.
Then I feel like maybe, I mean, she probably also has like, what, 12 years of anecdotal evidence that if you give Kristy enough space and time, she will be fine. So it might have just been like, I'm going to give her a couple hours, she'll be fine.
Right.
And, you know, if you keep pressing maybe while she's upset, it's just going to keep getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point too.
But yeah, I feel like it's also totally different when it's your wedding day.
Yeah.
And also when like you're about to go on your honeymoon and your daughter's about to go to camp for like, what, half the summer?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's probably 2 weeks, but still.
Final thoughts on the wedding plot line. I thought Kristy just looked so pretty and so sweet in her dress and her flower crown. Just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So then the other like kind of mini plot line is Richard Spear and Sharon, Dawn's mom, kind of getting back together in this episode. I love
Richie again.
She's calling him Richie again. I love the scene where they're like each trying to figure out what to wear to the wedding, and he holds up 2 identical white button-down shirts.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mary is just like, what?
Yeah.
And poor Dawn, like, we're gonna be late.
Yeah, it reminded me of the scene in that movie Devil Wears Prada where she's like, which belts? It's like they look the same, and she gets a whole lecture.
Yeah.
I feel like if Marianne was like, they look the same, Dad, he would have had like a lot of details that he could have pointed out of the differences.
Like, now this is white and this is ivory. These buttons have a mother of pearl sheen and these ones do not. And like he would have gone into so much detail.
Exactly. But yeah, they end up reconnecting at the wedding. It's just very sweet, and the kids are happy about it. So
yeah, right, yeah, they're all gushing about it. Like, especially love how Stacy, because Stacy's a romantic, of course, and she was part of like the whole quote Queer Eye, makeover with Richard, and so she was like, oh my gosh, it's so sweet when she was seeing them together, and yeah, it was cute.
Yep.
I also loved her fascinator for the wedding, like her little hat.
Yeah.
They all had something on their head. Did you notice that? They all had a hat or a headband or something.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Claudia's outfit was insane for the wedding. She was just like 80s, but the future. So funny. Yeah, yeah. I guess she had kind of a plot, like she decided not to go to art camp this summer. That was her big thing. She decided to go to Camp Moosehead with her friends, which is good.
Yeah.
I like that. I like how Mimi was the one who convinced her, being like, this is what's important. Like, you love being with the people you love. That's what's important. And I just loved that, that was what convinced Claudia to go to Moosehead instead of Haven.
New Haven. Yale. That's what fancy people call Yale.
Yeah.
I also love how, they really seem like kids that grew up together. I mean, not Stacy so much, obviously, because she's new and Dawn's new, but like the comfort that they have around each other, and like with Kristy's mom, and I guess to a much lesser extent, Marianne's dad. But I mean, I absolutely buy that these have been friends for like ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the friendships in this whole series. It's what makes it such a great series. So,
Definitely.
So any final thoughts?
I just want to point out how cute little Andrew is. The cutest.
Yeah.
His little glasses. Yeah. Just had to put that out there.
I love little kids with like big chunky glasses. It's the cutest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned for Dawn's mom while she's at camp, because like she nearly gave herself like a very bad allergic reaction when Dawn was right there eating like the hazelnut dessert, and it's, I don't know, like hopefully she's just gonna be hanging out with Richie nonstop, because otherwise she might accidentally kill herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. That was insane to me. Like, what? Trina allergy?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, this was a great episode. Another great one for the books. Next week we'll be talking about the Camp Moosehead 2-part finale episodes. It'll be our last recap. I'm very sad. These have been so fun. Yeah.
They better come out with a season 2.
Yeah.
I hope so.
I mean, they will, because we're writing it, so.
Right. Mia, what would you like to see in season 2? Do you have any like wishes for the next season?
I just want to see more Marianne and Logan.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Got that well, not yet, but next few episodes with that teaser. And just more love stories. I want to see more
romance.
Yeah.
The parents.
I think we will. Yeah, more Karen for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll be 13 in season 2. So my guess is we'll get a few more romantic story arcs. So that'll be fun.
And Richard and Sharon's continuing romance for sure.
Their wedding probably eventually.
Yeah, 'cause in the books they get married.
Yeah, for sure. Great. Well, thanks so much again, Mia, for joining us. This was super fun.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for listening. Be sure to subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find us on social media, WYSR_podcast on Twitter and on Instagram. You can email us at whatyoushouldreadpodcast@gmail.com. And our Goodreads is What You Should Read Podcast.
And now you know what you should watch.
You're welcome.